Lads, this video is so scuffed it is unreal. The concept created today was made in about 5 to 6 hours of work and was developed through very little sleep and little energy. This is partly due to this being a bit rushed because I have barely any time, and also it fits the video and it gives me a good title as well. That is transparency for you. Anyway, today I will be walking you through the process of me making a very poor and bare minimum version of a concept from one of my favourite games of all times. Again, don't expect much, but the actual mechanic itself is pretty cool, and with more time I would definitely love to expand upon it. But to fit the video schedule, it is really poor. Anyway, enjoy the video. Hey guys, Blakey here and welcome back to another video. Mario Galaxy came out on the Nintendo Wii in 2007 and has been one of my favourite games ever since. I have so many things I could talk about around it, but I had to pick one. Funnily enough, the concept I made today actually wasn't my first choice, but the other concept went very wrong and I didn't have time to work on it for long enough. Here are some clips of just what went down while trying to make that previous concept. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked as always. In Mario Galaxy, if you don't know, there is an object called a launch star. These game objects have a power to launch Mario in the air, in which he follows a specific path before reaching another planet. It overall is one of the coolest looking things in games, period. I wanted to see if I could try and make this, in a very short amount of time. And we did, It defo doesn't look like it was made by a toddler or anything. At this point, 70% of my videos could be replicated by a 5-year-old, let's be honest. So with these thoughts in mind, I decided to crack open a new project. Again, I spent a lot of time researching methods on what method I could use for having a player follow along a path. I initially came across Bezier curves, which use the equation b(t) = 1 minus... Yeah, you already know I'm defo not going down any path that uses pure equations. Hell no, that is not my area of expertise when I'm running on little sleep. It's not my strong point at the best of times. Anyway, I found the best and most efficient method under the circumstances I had was to use a waypoint system, where the player just simply goes from one waypoint to another. It's not exactly the smoothest, but shut up. I'll expand on this another time. For now, let me just show off my crap concepts. Thank you very much. Anyway, so knowing what method I wanted to use, I created some empty game objects that would soon be the waypoints intended for the project. And I just gave them some little red boys so I could see them, and also red is cool. Sorry, I'm tired. I then needed help using tutorials on how to go about some of the more technical aspects of this project, and I came across one that took me down the path of 4 loops and 4 each loops. Every letter I typed when following this tutorial, I lost a brain cell. My brain is just inverted at this point. Needless to say, I was typing random syntax such as POW, which I'd honestly never even came across before, and without learning it fully first, it felt wrong just writing it for myself. I finished coding the script with just a huge number of errors and just a general hefty amount of confusion. And I've always said, if I'm going to need help, I want to fully understand what I'm writing and then make the code my own. And with this, lads, I did not do that. It was a pure copy and paste moment. So I said goodbye to this script and I yeeted it into the land of the recycle bin, and I tried again using a different method. Method number 2 was going down the route of using the function move towards. Something I'm familiar with and have used many times. Already I was scraping the barrel and was just going to call it a day, as I was knackered, but no, we do not do that on this channel. We persevere. Cringe aside, using this method initially didn't work. It was essentially asking the player if he was at the waypoint, and if he wasn't, go there. But I think for syntax reasons the script was just in pure denial and it wouldn't work. Then we started slapping in percentage signs and stuff, and by this point I was ready to just try another method because we don't mess with random syntax here. So method number 2 was a big fat F as well. I wasn't sure what to do next, as I was at a point where maybe I should make a different video for now or something. The issue with that is I'm a perfectionist, and the thought of uploading a video that I see as worse than many of my recent videos just makes me want to quit. So I needed to get this working, even if it is the absolute bare minimum. So for the next method, I wanted to start fresh. I I wanted to map out everything, have everything clear as day so I could really get it working to the best of my ability. I used the function onDrawGizmos to draw wire spheres where each point is, and then draw lines between each point to visualize exactly where each point is going to go. I then made a new script which contains floats for stuff like speed, distance and all that jazz. This script will be the code needed to make the player follow along the path, hopefully, again. And thank God it actually worked this time. When I start the game, the player instantly started along the path. But saying that isn't actually what I want. Picky, I know, but I have to make something that is worthy of an actual video. Anyway, I want it so when the player reaches the quote unquote star, to then be launched in the air. And by launch, I mean strictly move from one point to another very awkwardly, with absolutely no professionalism included at all. Anyway, to achieve this, I used a boolean that is only set to true when the player reaches the star. When this boolean is set to true, the player is then allowed to follow along the path. Nice and easy, and gets the effect wanted. Did something actually go well today? First time? Surely not. I'm not going to question it anyway. Anyway, when the player reaches a waypoint, the game tells the player to find the next waypoint and go to that one. And he does what it says, for once, thank God. I needed to add some sort of colour into the scene because at the moment it is just grey, and if I wasn't, it was going to fall asleep. So I slapped in a floor and added a vibrant blue. Then it was time to make the player some movement controls so we could work on aspects such as moving in the vicinity of the star. Used a big word there. Anyway, so I'm not a fan of coding 3D movement due to there being so many methods and stuff. But for today's short project it didn't matter, so I went with using transform.translate. That was all working, then a little bit of camera work as well, and yeah, I don't know what happened. I'm just ignore that. Anyway, we fixed that, and I have a fully working camera system too. Even though it is quite unorthodox, and this was a game I was continuing with, I would definitely revamp it. But for the sake of this concept, it's fine. Now we had both a camera and a player that can move. It was time to make something that can be our version of a launch star. So I opened up Blender and started just making some random concept shape, which basically ended up looking like a low poly donut painted mouldy yellowish. This was not the plan, but I'm sticking with it now. It is no longer a launch star, it's a yellow donut circle thing. Anyway, that took a grand total of 2 minutes to make in Blender. Then I put it back into the project and made a little spinny animation for it. This is because when Mario uses the launch star, the star does some cool spin and launch animation. Mine on the other hand, does a 360-degree turn and then stops. So revolutionary I know, but please stay focused, don't flatter me. Anyway, I made a box collider that surrounds our knockoff launch star. So when the player enters this area, the spin animation plays and the player then begins to follow the waypoints. For some stupid ass reason, this happens now. Yeah, why that happens I do not know, but guess who is going to be lazy and just disable collision? Me, obviously. Now it came to a point in the project where I needed to intertwine scripts and have them reference each other. This is something you quickly become familiar with in game dev, so this was fine and didn't have any issues generally. I've done things such as activating the launch script from another script and disabling or enabling the player's movement and gravity when entering or exiting the waypoints. Technical stuff I don't expect you bottom feeders to understand. Don't cancel me. Regardless, it all works, and I thought just for fun I would add some more colours and stuff just to make it look slightly less this. So with everything added and looking slightly less cardboardy, I can finally show the final base concept. Wait, sorry, wrong clip. This is the final concept. Making this project and this video as well has been so chaotic, messy and very unorganised. Again, I want to reiterate that with more time this would have way more to it, but this is the best I could do. Regardless, I hope the video was fun enough to watch anyway and I kept you interested for a little while. If you have any other concepts from other games you want to see me try and make, just drop them in the comments. And of course, make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed today's video. Lads, I will thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.